Hi and welcome to the Knightsbridge Golf School. I'm just upstairs in the little specking workshop we have up here, and this is the last in the club design series for the irons. And we're talking today about weight distribution, how it's different on different irons, how to recognise it, what it is, how it might or might not be appropriate for you. So I've got a few irons here across the brands just to demonstrate with, and what we've first got here is the Mizuno MP18. Okay, and you can see as you look at it, there's not much weight positioned around the perimeters, no extra weight around the perimeters. Not a club. This is not a club designed to actually resist off-centre hits. Okay, so if you strike it out the toe, the club head's going to twist quite violently. That's quite a good thing for a better player because it gives them better feedback. They know where they struck it, and by not having lots of weight around the perimeter, it's easier for the better player to manipulate the blade to actually hold it off or to close the face in order to hit draw or fade, and in the same sense to hit it lower or higher by delofting or lofting. Typically what they will do with this, as you can see on the back of the club, there's quite a chunk of weight here, a little bit thicker in this section here, and they will either raise or lower that chunk of weight in order to either raise or lower the centre of gravity, which can affect trajectory and spin for a better player. Now what you will find is typically with these sorts of clubs, where there isn't a lot of weight low down particularly, they are a little bit more weaker in terms of loft, so in order to get the flight. So often you won't be able to hit a club like this as far. The other thing is there's no real technology in the face, as in they're not trying to make the face ultra thin for ball speed. Better player is going to have plenty of club head speed typically and doesn't need the extra help, if you like, and there are sacrifices to be made by taking weight away from the face. So this is a very traditional golf club. It's a golf club that puts all the control in the player's hands, and that's that in a nutshell. So that's more of a blade-like club, right top end in terms of very, very good standard of player. As you move towards the next club, I've taken another Mizuno, actually, to give you a little bit of an example here. There are some different features, but just have a look at the back there, and you can see there's a little bit more of a cutout here. So what they've done is they've effectively removed this weight, and you can see, yeah, there's more weight now positioned around the perimeter. This is slightly more resistant to off-centre hits. Once again, down here you're still going to know about it, but it's not going to be quite as unforgiving. It's going to be more forgiving, and you might not lose quite as much ball speed. I don't know how noticeable it will be, but because it has a little bit more forgiveness and they're playing around with the weight a little bit more, the loss on these will typically be a little bit stronger. Not always, but a little bit stronger. And yeah, once again, it's a much better player's club. Yeah, it still doesn't have any real forgiveness built into it. It's not that way inclined. But the weight distribution is just softening the edge off a miss hit a little bit, giving the player a little bit of friendliness, if you like. It's a slightly bigger profile on the blade, and there are other little features which make it into slightly less a pure blade than the first one I showed you, than the MP18. Okay, that's the JPX 919 Tour. So then we're going to move up to slightly higher handicappers golf club. Okay, when I say higher handicappers, it doesn't mean you can't play to scratch. If you were a scratch player, you wouldn't play to scratch with a club like this. This is a Strixon 585. They do have a 785, which is closer to the JPX Tour 919, but just for the sake of demonstration here, you can see a much bigger cutout here. And actually, if you've got some sort of device here, I don't know if I can do that, but that little pencil down here is actually an undercut channel. Yeah. Through that area there. So what's happened there is they pulled the weight back away from the face. The 785, which I don't have here, the weight isn't pulled back. It's very much around the perimeter like this one is on the 785, but it hasn't pulled the weight back away from the face. And when you pull the weight back away from the face, once again, you're making it more resistant to off-centre hits, the twisting on off-centre hits. So this is a very good looking club from the top. It appeals to a good player's eye, but it has a lot more safety net built in with that weight position. And because all this weight is now around the perimeter, you might not find it as easy to shape the ball, slide it left to right, turn it over right to left. But yeah, that's the club, and once again, profile, size, sole width, offset, just moving towards, like I say, a few more safety net features, a bit more forgiveness about it. Because all the weight has been moved off the face as well, now they can really start to play around with how thin the face is, and that thickness, because all the weight, this section here isn't part of the face. Okay, when you look at the MP18, That's how thick that club is at that section. Okay, with the 585, yeah, it's the same sort of thickness, but all of this section is actually away from the face. The face is ultra thin and thin all the way across. Gives it a lot of ball speed, a little bit more forgiveness on off-centre hits, in terms of not dropping as much ball speed, and it doesn't twist quite as violently. So you can see how the weight distribution there is helping the player a little bit more, but still plenty of good players features in there. You can still shape it, and you can still get decent feedback about where you struck it. Sort of club where someone who's maybe not playing as much, good standard, but just wants a little bit more forgiveness. That's the Strixon 585. Then I've now got a Ping G410, wider sole, bit more offset, etc, etc. Once again, let's show you into that cavity. Like the Strixon, it's got an undercut channel, especially down the bottom here, so it's putting weight back. Yep, centre of gravity is away from the face, it makes it more resistant to off-centre hits, and they've positioned a big chunk of the weight down low, which helps the ball get up and airborne. So thinner face, lower centre of gravity, high launch, fast ball speed, and lots of resistance to off-centre hits. You know, like you can see all around here, all that weight is positioned to actually stop the club head from twisting. You don't lose as much ball speed, not as much distance when you miss-hit it. So the offset of that, or the flip side of the coin, if you like, is you don't get as much feedback. It actually feels soft if you hit it, you know, miss-hit it left, miss-hit it right, you know, toe and heel. The vibration is dampened, but the feedback about where you struck it isn't quite as acute, but it gives you some great shots, high, long, you know, super forgiveness. And this is where all the brands are getting better. They're getting better with their manufacturing techniques all the time, in designing clubs and actually being able to apply the design with the machines that they're using, the machinery they're using, and the techniques they're using in order to position that weight into more performance effective areas depending on what they're trying to achieve. High, low, forgiving, not forgiving, shapeability, workability, all that side of things. Okay, and then you've also got another club like the Ping G410. This is the Callaway Big Bertha. Okay, this one is a little bit harder to see. You can see it's got a big sole. Okay, so you know there's plenty of width in this section, so the weight is set back. You're thinking, oh, is it all the way thick there? But it's not. Yeah, it's a hollow body. They've introduced technology inside the body in order to make it feel sounds in a different way. The face is very thin, gives lots of ball speed, but this is more of a hidden perimeter weighting, if you like. The size gives it away, but once again, it does have low centre of gravity. It has rearward centre of gravity, where the centre of gravity is coming back, so built for forgiveness. And the other features, of course, give you a clue of what it's trying to do, as in higher, bigger profile, wider sole, a little bit more offset between middle of the shaft and the face there. So that's kind of at the top end of the extreme. It's all about hitting it, getting it up, getting it long in terms of ball speed, flighting it well, forgiving your off-centre hits. Like I say, the trade-off is that you don't feel where you're striking it. You can't shape it as easily if you want to draw it, slide it left to right. It's nowhere near as easy to do with that sort of club. So the better player takes the control away from him. Yeah, but for the higher handicapper, the lesser ability, if you like, at this point in time, this gives them results, and it helps you play the game much easier. It's not an easy game to play, so there's no shame in taking clubs with more forgiveness built in, but there is a trade-off, okay? And it's, you know, it's picking the club that suits your current position, your current ability, but also where you're going. Are you someone practicing hard? Are you taking lessons? Are you moving towards the better player category? Or are you someone just playing for fun, just want to have it nice and easy, swing, hit, off she goes? You know, these are all, you know, that sort of questioning will help you decide what sort of club weight positioning design that you might want to take on. All right, so anyway, that's it for the weight positioning part of the club design series. I don't think there's anything else I'm going to talk about. I could talk about hose length, I think. I'm not sure, I'll decide, but this may be the last one, but I hope that's helped. Once again, all the things we've spoken about, I dwelled upon individually, because, you know, when you're talking about what a player needs, all these things you think, right, I need a wide sole, and I need a bit more offset or a bit less offset, or I need a slightly taller profile, a slightly longer profile. You don't think about brand, you actually think about what model has that. You know, when you've got a lot of brands to choose from, and all the models they've produced and designed for you, then as long as you understand all those, you can make some really good decisions and better decisions. You know, don't just assume, well, I'm a Callaway guy, or I'm a Mizuno guy, or I'm a Strixon guy. Don't just think that that's what I am. You know, get some advice, some good advice on what you need and then pick the model appropriate to that. All right, hope that helps, and catch up with you soon.